Good afternoon, everybody. Chris with the Realty Medics here, providing your Q3 market update. As you can see, it is a cooling market. We'll kind of dive into the numbers here in just a second. So using Aura's most recent report from September, median sale price is at $370,000. It's down 5,000 from August 2023. Inventory's up to 6,758, 6 straight months of increases. It's up a little over 600 houses since August. As of today, November 2nd, mortgage rates for a 30-year fixed is 7.875. Touch a little bit more on rates here in a minute. Days on market is currently at 41, up from 31 days in September of 2022. But to note on that, it's been pretty steady for the last 4 months as far as days on market. See here the average and median sale price. It's important to note that typically the sales market is cyclical. Values go up in the summer, they go down through the winter. It's just a matter of how much. You kind of see this bar graph reflects that cycle. So kind of touching on the last 4 months, days on market's floated right around 41 days. But that's improved from where it was January, February of this year. But definitely increased from where it was summer into fall of last year. But if you do look at October, November 2022, 38, 43, as far as days on market, that really isn't too far off of what is normal. All right, so what's going to happen with rates? Look at a lot of resources. Obviously not a lender myself, but kind of looking at what the experts say. Economy and incomes continue to grow, according to Freddie Mac's chief economist, Sam Cater. Housing market does have a lot of constraints, prices and mortgage specifically. Purchase demand is at a 3-decade low. But if you look at the projections, a lot of people are projecting rates to start to come back down soon. There may be another rate hike or two in the near future, but really depends on who you ask as far as when that's going to happen or if it's going to happen. Pulling this from an article from about a week and a half ago, where the projection is going to be at the end of Q4. The early 2023 projections did not have them reaching these heights, so there have been some modifications to the projections. Most agree that the rate hikes are almost done. The rates should start falling. It's just a matter of when and by how much. So let's get into the rental rates. We've been kind of blessed the last 3 years, basically post-COVID. We really didn't see the cyclical price movements in the rental market. But we're kind of seeing that now. Rates have definitely cooled off. Properties are taking longer to rent. And I bring that up because a lot of people got spoiled in the last few years. They didn't have rent decreases. On average, rental rates went up 8% the last 3 years. That's not the case anymore. It's important that we shift with the market, because if we don't, what you're going to end up having is a property that sits vacant for months because we're trying to get those rental rates that the market's just not commanding anymore. For example, Orlando is down $130 from July across all rental properties, according to Zillow. Down $250 from July of last year. Now, we didn't necessarily see that for us. That's sharp of a decrease from last year to this year. But we're definitely seeing it now within the last 2 to 3 months. Active listings, depending on the site, for City of Orlando, between 850 to 885. All of Orange County is right around 2,000 vacant properties, floating anywhere from 1980 to 2020, depending on the source. But you can kind of see by the bar graph what rental rates have done. Ocala, down $30 from July, down $110 from July 2022, between 450 active rentals, depending on source. Not hit as hard, but as you know, Ocala is a very popular rental market for investors. So we got to keep that in mind. If there's a lot of rental properties that are vacant that are very comparable to yours, what is going to make yours stand out? For a lot of people right now, with where the economy is, price is the first and most important variable. So if you have a property, do things to make it more marketable. Palm Bay, same thing, down $30 from July. We've actually seen it go down more than that. Again, this is going off Zillow data. What we're seeing for us internally, um, rates in both Palm Bay and Ocala are down closer to $100, $150, depending on the property, from what they were getting 6 months ago. So again, if you're in an area that is saturated with vacant rentals, do something to make it stand out. Or if you have features that may make it stand out, smart homes, fans, appliances you've provided that maybe some of your other competitors haven't provided, we want to make sure that we market those amenities. So Lisa Hill, president of Aura, rising rates in September contributed to rising inventory, falling sales, and falling median home price. The falls haven't been drastic, and it's important to remember where the market was over the last couple of years and how significantly it increased, and how inflated a lot of the prices were. We really are just kind of correcting. 2023 has been a correction in a lot of sorts, so it's important to keep that in mind. Try to be proactive with the market, not reactive. And as Lisa Hill states, home sales during the fall are typically slower than the spring and summer. It's especially prevalent this year, with rates reaching the highest they've been in over 20 years. High interest rate is the number one factor affecting buyers this year. Now, for those people out there that have that great mortgage rate, consider diversifying and using that equity if it's possible. One way to do that is take out a HELOC on the property. HELOC rates fluctuate, but they're right around or just above where a mortgage rate is. If you're able to tap in your home's equity, if you have, 150, 200, 250K in equity, you may want to consider tapping into that equity as opposed to selling the current house to buy the next house. Now, obviously, there's a lot of variables that go into that, but that is one option for those people that feel trapped. A lot of people feel trapped in their low interest rates, and if you're sub 4, definitely sub 3, those interest rate levels were historic, so we got to remember that 2% interest rates were historic. That is not the norm. Projections looking at interest rates, people don't project them to hit sub 6 until at the earliest 2025. So a lot of projections have rates hitting, mid 6s, low 6s by end of 2024. So you really need to make sure we're shifting our thinking and being realistic. If you're one of those people on the fence, you're renting now, maybe you're looking to buy in the future, start planning now, start saving now, because a lot of those down payment assistance programs and first-time homebuyer programs, those funds get used up as the year goes on, but they reset typically every January. So if you're one of those people, January, February, March, when the prices are depressed, rates may be a little high still, but you can always refi. But if the values go up, and talking to some of the agents I deal with, lenders I interact with, a lot of people are projecting that if inventory stays low into next year, when those rates start coming back down, a lot of people are going to go out and try and buy that new house or buy that next house. And if inventory stays low, that's going to drive the prices up. And if people start overpaying again, it's going to be really difficult to get into that new house. So my suggestion, start looking ahead, not just the next few months, but 6, 9, 12 months, and try and get ahead of where the market is going to be. Don't react. Don't be one of those people that keeps waiting to time the market. There's no perfect time to time it. If you have any questions for me, feel free to reach out to Jason or I. Happy to help you out. You guys have a great day. See you next quarter.